Breaking news coming out in the past couple of hours as Biden is going to be facing a pivotal moment as he weighs retaliation for what unfolded in Jordan with drone strikes. Now, this just coming out in the past couple of hours. The headlines reading, as early as tonight, President Joe Biden will be authorizing the U.S. military to take action in the Middle East. It is likely going to be the most consequential decision of his presidency. This just coming out in the past couple of hours. Now, I had some technical difficulties just a moment ago. Came back on now 5 minutes later to give you guys this breaking news. Please do me a favor. Let me know if you can hear me and see me okay. As I mentioned, looked like I was having some technical difficulties. Asked everybody to hop on 5 minutes later. If you can hear me and see me, please let me know. Please hit the like button if you appreciate the breaking news updates. I'm going to be adding this article to the community page so that way you can see exactly what is going on. But there are some words and information here that I cannot share on this live, but I'm going to be doing my best to give you the information. And if there are words that I'm not able to say, I'm going to go ahead and use some vague information to try to convey it, but not say exactly this specific thing. Now, do me a favor. There's 400 people on. I think we had 700 a minute ago. I wasn't sure what was going on with the live stream feed. Please hit the like button so this can get spread out to those that might have gotten missed as we are hopping on live again. It just helps with the YouTube algorithm. Also, if this is your first time here, hit subscribe to stay up to date. It's totally free. And consider joining the newsletter should there be communication disruptions. Now, again, this is breaking news coming out. We had heard that the Biden administration was going to be responding. We had heard them vow to take retaliation as a result of what we saw unfold in Jordan. Now, major news coming out today, and a lot of people are saying this could be a massive escalation. It is going to be coming, they're saying, as early as tonight. So brace yourself for what we could see. Biden facing a pivotal moment as he weighs retaliation for the loss of life in Jordan after the drone strikes. The commander-in-chief will have given a number, as he has been given a number of options by the Pentagon, but the consequences are far from certain. And this could trigger a much wider scale war. So they're saying that this could happen as early as tonight. As early as tonight, it reads, President Joe Biden will be authorizing U.S. military action in the Middle East. It is likely to be one of the most consequential decisions of his presidency. So up to this point, we've seen strikes back on empty military bases, not a whole lot of activity. But as a result of what unfolded in the loss of life in Jordan of U.S. troops, they are saying now they're going to officially announce military action in the Middle East. So this is escalating now to the point where essentially it has not yet been officially announced, but we could be entering into war. Now, at stake is the credibility of American deterrence and the teetering stability of the region. Ever since the game-changing Hamas attack on Israel last October, this always volatile part of the world has seemed on the brink of a much larger conflict. The American president will hope that his choice is in the coming hours will detour any such escalation, but it also might do the opposite. America's enemies, they have crossed the line. Inaction is not an option, but overreacting could light a tinderbox of the Middle East's tension and ignite a regional war. Now, for weeks, Iranian-backed militia, they have been launching attacks on U.S. assets without inflicting any casualties. But that all changed when a drone penetrated defenses at a desert base in Jordan and reached a tent full of sleeping American soldiers. There were 3 that lost their lives and more than 40 injured, blamed on the militia group with close ties to Iran. In the hours since, President Biden, he has been given a range of options by his military advisors, ranging from the symbolic to severely punitive. He could attack the groups responsible, but that will be seen by many back home as weak and not striking the heart of the problem, the group's patrons in Iran. Also, on the Pentagon's list of options, action against the Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps in the region outside of Iran or attacking Iranian assets within its borders. Biden will not just be weighing geopolitical factors, but domestic political considerations as well. So you guys, just want to let you know exactly what's taking place here. What we saw unfold yesterday, we heard a vow from President Joe Biden and from the defense secretary, that there would be a response to this, that there would be retaliation. Share that with you. Now, today, what is coming out is that within as early as tonight, in the next couple of hours, we could see the announcement of these official U.S. military actions taking place in the Middle East. And we are waiting to see to what extent it is. And they're saying this could be one of the most critical decisions of his presidency, because this could open up a slew of conflict and potentially all-out war with what unfolds. They're saying he needs to be very calculated and precise with exactly what he's going to do, and start thinking about the ramifications of what could unfold, as they need to think of this as a chess move. If we do this, then this will happen, then we will do this, and this potentially could unfold. They're saying that this decision is going to be made in the next couple of hours, as early as the next couple of hours. Now, his Republican rivals, they are baying for attacks on Iran itself. So right now, the GOP, I shared with you guys yesterday, Lindsey Graham, Senator Cotton, Senator Corn, several of them saying we need to go to the root of the problem and hit Iran. They're saying that this could be what is about to take place, which could essentially open up war between the United States and Iran. As I mentioned, this just coming out in the past couple of hours. He cannot afford to look weak in an election year, they say. But another costly foreign war could hurt his chances of re-election too. He is not going to do well if he does this, but he's also not going to do well if he does not do something. Ever since tensions were ignited by the Hamas atrocities of the 7th of October and Israel's response, there have been fear of widening conflict in the Middle East. The president will try to collaborate his response so it punishes and deters, but does not escalate. But war is not a precise science. If U.S. military action is disproportionately destructive, it will demand a stronger response back from Iran. A cycle of escalation will then ensue. Confrontation has been ratcheting up in the air, on the land, and in the sea. U.S. and British airstrikes have followed attacks by other Iranian proxies, the Houthis in the Red Sea, attacks on U.S. assets on the ground in Syria, Iraq, and Jordan. They have all intensified. It is assumed that no one wants a much bigger war, but events at some point may soon acquire an irreversible momentum, tipping the region into an all-out war. That danger is far from receding. A moment of no return seems to be approaching with each passing moment. So they're saying that this moment is now, that in the next couple of hours, as early as tonight, President Biden might be making his announcement of deploying U.S. military action in the Middle East. And we have not received information yet as to the extent of this military action, but major warnings coming out in the past couple hours that this is going to take place and it could trigger a wider war. And again, headlines simply reading, as early as tonight, President Joe Biden will be authorizing U.S. military action in the Middle East. It is likely to be one of the most consequential decisions of his presidency. So let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. I see we've got over 1,200 people live with me in the room. Do me a favor, smash the like button. Can we get the likes up over 600? If you appreciate the breaking news updates, can I get 60 likes to help push that over? All it does is spread this out further. Also, hit subscribe to stay up to date. I'll keep you up to speed on everything. And to stay connected off of social media platforms, don't forget, join me at steveramnews.com. Joanne says, we appreciate the update, Steve. I will continue to do my best to keep you guys up to date, as it seems like things are just escalating, especially with the tensions in the Middle East. I saw on the news another U.S. base was attacked, says Evangelist Watchman. The enemies, they have entered into our land, says B. Borrowed. Yes, we're hearing that there is also concern of potential attacks taking place here on U.S. soil in addition to that. Now, let me know your thoughts. If we do these, we've heard that there are already cells sleeping within the United States, groups that have already made their way through our southern border that are here, that are waiting to orchestrate a coordinated attack against potentially infrastructure systems in the United States. If we hit hard, we're going to be seeing to what extent. Do you think that that could initiate these cells to start attacking within the United States. Let me know your thoughts. Do you think that that is going to be coming? We will see. Let me know if you think that this could essentially tip us over. Put a 1 in the comments if you think that what is about to unfold from the United States could be the tipping point into war and also could potentially cause sleeper cell attacks within the United States. If you think no, that we're going to be able to avoid war or it will not trigger those, put a 2. But I'm seeing a lot of 1s coming in. I've seen some people saying, I have no clue. Yeah, we will see what unfolds here, but we've heard warnings from the FBI of potential attacks and devastation taking place here on U.S. soil, and not just the attacks that most people would think like physical attacks. We've heard that infrastructure systems have been compromised. And also remember that these groups, Hamas and some of these other ones, they're saying they are directly funded by Iran. Iran is the source of the funding for these groups to wreak the havoc that they do. And if we are about to actually directly attack Iran at this moment, do you think that that will then trigger those groups to start unleashing these potential attacks on the United States? I see a lot of 1s. I do see a couple of 2s saying no, they don't think that we're going to be going that route. But this information coming out, this breaking news in just the past couple of hours. Now, what I'm going to do is there's some information here, as I mentioned, that I cannot say. There's some words and things I can't say, even in the title. So after this is over, I'm going to go to the community page and I'm going to go ahead and cite the sources for you so that way you can read it for yourself. And again, this just coming out, it says today, Monday, January 29th, 2024, at 2100 hour UK time. So I'm not really sure what UK time is, but I do know that it says that it has come out in just the past couple of hours. And again, it just reads, Biden faces a pivotal moment as he weighs the retaliation for the soldiers' loss of life in Jordan after the drone strikes. The commander-in-chief, he has been given a number of options by the Pentagon, but the consequences are far from certain, and it could trigger, they're saying, a wider scale war. As early as tonight, President Joe Biden will authorize U.S. military action in the Middle East. It is likely to be one of the most consequential decisions of his presidency. Do you think that we are on the verge of World War III right now? The United States this entire time has tried to show restraint, but they're saying that that restraint is being interpreted as weakness. And now they're saying to brace yourselves for an aggressive, massive, large U.S. military strike in the Middle East. Put a 3 if you think we are about to potentially enter into World War III as we are entering into the month of February for 2024. I'm seeing people saying yes. Yes, I see a lot of yeses pouring in. People saying yes. I'm seeing 3s coming in. People saying that we are essentially on the verge of World War III right now. Now, we will see. As it said, it could be as early as tonight. If it happens tonight, and I get word of it, I'll be sure to hop on and let you guys know what actions are being taken by the United States. If it is not tonight, maybe it's tomorrow. Whenever that comes out, I'll be sure to let you guys know here on the channel so that way you know exactly what's taking place. But make no mistake, the U.S. vowed that they would have a response, but a lot of people feeling like the responses thus far have been weak. But now they're warning what is about to come is going to be an aggressive launch. And we have not received information as to whether or not they're going to be hitting Iran directly, but members of the Republican Party, the GOP, saying that is what needs to unfold. And I shared with you yesterday how we received the response from Tucker Carlson. Tucker Carlson saying that was using profanity, calling the GOP lunatics, saying that that will launch us into a massive, massive war. And we need to be more strategic with our potential response. I took a poll yesterday and I asked people if they agreed with Lindsey Graham, Cotton, Corn, and that it needed to be an aggressive response back, or if they agreed with Tucker Carlson that we needed to be more calculated and not react too aggressively. It was a little bit of a split room, but the vast majority of people, or the majority of people, not the vast majority, said that we need to hit hard, that they feel like these actions are long overdue to give an aggressive response back. But again, the concern is that if the response, if the retaliation is too aggressive, it could lead to an all-scale war. And essentially a lot of people saying, World War III. But not everybody feels the same way. I see Tracy saying lunatics is right. Sherrod Prunett is saying Lindsey Graham. Let's see here. Been ready since the Obama blunder era, says Michael Combs. Mark saying yes, we need an aggressive response. Bruce saying we're already at war. We've heard a lot of people saying that. We are already at war. It just not has been officially declared. Tina Terrell says, OMG, the borders. Yes. We also have internal conflict here in the United States. Right now, it seems like the U.S. has split into two factions, those that are standing with Texas and those that are supporting the Biden administration, all a battle over the borders, fighting over what should be done there. And Texas not backing down. At this time, Texas essentially just telling the Biden administration, if you want to cut the wires, if you want to remove troops, if you want to do all that, go ahead and come and take it. But we're doing a better job of you at doing your job, and that is protecting the American people. So we have internal conflict at this time. And then at the same time, we also have foreign conflict in the Middle East. And right now, we're hearing that President Joe Biden is preparing as early as in the next couple of hours to authorize the U.S. military to take action, aggressive, massive action in the Middle East. So we will see. I'll be sure to keep you guys up to speed on that. I see Snake saying, I stand with Texas. Michael saying Texas is still giving D.C. A hard time. Loretta is saying, Chris Flex, yes. People saying they are ready. Mildred saying she stands with Texas. Sue Henderson saying she agrees with Tucker Carlson. We need to be strategic with our response. 777 Heaven saying Texas secede. We will see. There's been a lot of talk about that. But you know, the word civil war and there's been it's been all over the news. People questioning, are we even a united nation again? It makes you think of the Pledge of Allegiance. It says that we are indivisible, one nation. But it looks like that indivisible portion, like in that declaration, is under question right now. Will we divide? Do you think that we will divide into two separate nations, or do you think we will stand together? You know, that's up for debate. We'd have to look at the Constitution and all the things written in there. Does Texas actually have the ability to do so? And if they do not, will they do it? Will there essentially be a war? Will it be an aggressive, hard split, a civil war that will unfold? Not a mutual split, an ability to secede, but will we actually see war, internal conflict take place in the United States? Let me know your thoughts. Are we looking at civil war? I'm seeing a lot of people saying yes. People saying they stand with Texas. You know, and also then there's the question of, if this unfolds, what happens to what if people support the Biden administration but they live in Texas? Or what if people support Texas but they live in blue states? And if it were to split up, then what happens? Are people going to move from one state to another state that supports the ideologies that align with them? What's going to happen if we split? In what happens to the national debt? What happens to our currencies? What happens to our resources? What happens to our military assets? How is that all divided? So there's a lot of things to take into consideration with something like that, if we were actually to go down that route. Now, we've heard a lot of people questioning this, but here's my thoughts as well. We actually heard from Governor Greg Abbott in Texas, and he said that he plans to hold the line, stand strong for Texas and the U.S. people by protecting our borders. He said for 1 year. He said Biden can say what he wants. He said, but I'm going to hold on for 1 year, because he said, I believe that the Biden administration is going to be seeing the last of their days in this upcoming election. He said he is not going to win, and then hopefully we can see a president enter in that will actually care for the American people. And he said, and then I'll be able to allow the federal government to do their job, because they will actually be under a commander-in-chief that will instruct them to do their job the right way. So at this time, you know, there's a lot of talk about internal conflict and civil war with the United States. However, It sounds like the message coming from Governor Greg Abbott of Texas is that there is not a plan to secede at this time, but there is a plan to stand strong and defy the federal government for at least the next year until there is a new administration that enters in. So I think that is the strategy, but I might be wrong. And if anything changes, I'll let you know. But this coming is at the same time, we're getting these reports coming in of the conflict taking place in the Middle East, and that there will be an announcement of military action. They said as early as in the next couple of hours tonight. We could see that. And a lot of people saying that this could go up to an all-scale World War III massive conflict. And that is the concern. How aggressive will the response be? What will the response be? Where and against who? Because many are saying that just a response to these military groups, these little militias, is not enough. We need to hit the source, and that is Iran. Iran is the source of the funding for these groups. I see people thanking Governor Greg Abbott. Somebody asking, why were we in Jordan to begin with? Paul Stroth saying red flag action. Susan saying, I honestly don't see how at this time the United States can stay out of war. It feels like we are already in war. And they're saying that it is just escalating at this time. 777 Heaven is saying it is good versus evil in the United States. Mahindra is saying Washington, D.C. will boom. Glenn McQueen asking, do we have a government right now? Great question, Glenn. That has been a question that's been popping up a lot. Are we entering into a civil war? Are we even a nation? What is taking place right now? Robert Mason, thank you so much for the super chat and the support. I appreciate it a ton. Thank you so much. It says Biden is weak and won't do anything. We need Trump. Let me know if you agree with Robert in the comments. Do we need Trump right now? Or do you think that we need somebody else? Put who you think in the comments. If you think Trump, go ahead and put it. If you think somebody else, put it in the comments. Let me know if you agree with Robert Mason. And again, thank you for the support. I appreciate that a ton. You are awesome. I will do my best to continue to keep you guys up to date on everything. Ibranchi20 says, Steve, you need to get out of Houston. I got to tell you, Ibranchi, I'm not planning on going anywhere. This is where I believe I'm supposed to be. Some of you guys know that have been following me for a while. I actually had a dream that God told me to come to Houston. I actually was crazy enough to do it. And I am here because I believe that I have a purpose in Houston. And since coming here, things have been growing and evolving. You can take that however you want, but honestly, I feel like I am supposed to be here and I don't have any plans at this time to go anywhere. Chris the Flex, thank you for that $10 super chat. I appreciate it a ton. It says, we appreciate you, sir. I appreciate you, Chris. I'll continue to keep you guys up to date on everything. Mark Lindstad, $10 super chat. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. You are awesome. I will continue to keep you guys up to date on everything. Wow, JTC 1208, $10. Trump will be back this year to keep us out of World War III. You know what, JTC? I think a lot of people agree with you. Right now, Biden's approval rating is just so bad. I would not be surprised if all of the court issues that are taking place right now with former President Donald Trump and all of the controversy and all the things that those that are opposed to him are trying to do to keep him out, if those fail, and it is supposed to be Trump versus Biden, according to the polls and the approval ratings, Biden does not have a chance. And I would not be surprised if the Democratic Party introduced another person to try to combat Trump, because at this time, it looks like it is going to be Trump, especially if it's Trump versus Biden. So we will see. I'll keep you up to date. Richard Sherrick, thank you so much for the super chat. You guys are absolutely incredible. The Ram Fam generosity is incredible. Thank you for that $2 super chat. I appreciate it. And I also like that flag thumbnail that you have for yourself there, that American flag. El Vampio asking, any word on the draft? No, they're saying that not at this time. However, we are 1/10 of the military reserves that we have than we had the last time that we needed it, at 1/10. So they're saying that if that happened, they asked the question, will Congress need to reenact that because we are way, way short on the reserves that are needed. Angel Praises says, you are awesome, Steve. We appreciate you. Thank you for all that you do. You are very welcome. Thank you so much for the support. I appreciate it. You guys are awesome. Steve Ketch says, you are welcome. Let's see. Steve, stay where God leads you. Praying for you, says Mona Powell. Thank you, Mona. I appreciate that a ton. Jesus could rapture us home any second now, says Destiny. Very true, Destiny. It is very possible. However, I always kind of refer to Matthew chapter 24 when they asked Jesus when the end of times would be. And he gives a list of different things that happen. And he says, there's going to be wars. There's going to be rumors of wars. There's going to be an assortment of different things. And he says, but do not be afraid. The end is not yet come. And he goes through famines and pestilence, and they're going to persecute you, and people will proclaim to be the Christ, but the end is not yet come. There is something that we need to watch for. The last thing in Matthew 24 that he says will happen before the end comes. And so that is what we're watching for, and it's still yet to unfold. The Ori Show, $15. You're totally where you need to be. Biden isn't protecting us. We need to protect ourselves. God bless Steve, supporting always. Thank you, Ori, for the kind words and the $15 super chat. You are awesome. I appreciate the support. Absolutely incredible generosity. Thank you guys so much. I will continue to do my best to keep you up to date. And who knows, right now, maybe in the next couple of hours, we could be hearing the official announcement from the Biden administration. And for those of you hopping on a little bit late, I see we've got about 1,600 people in the room. Again, I cannot source this one live right now. After this is over, I will put it in the community post so you can go ahead and click it. But there's words in here that YouTube will not like. But I'm summarizing it for you. And the headlines are reading, Biden faces a pivotal moment as he weighs the retaliation of the loss of life in Jordan due to drone strikes by Hamas. The commander-in-chief will have given a number of options, has been given a number of options by the Pentagon, but the consequences are far from certain and could trigger a wider war. And it says, as early as tonight, President Joe Biden will be authorizing the U.S. military to take action in the Middle East. It is likely to be one of the most consequential decisions of his presidency. At stake is the credibility of the American deterrence and the teetering stability of the region. Ever since the game-changing Hamas attacks on Israel last October, this always volatile part of the world has seemed to be on the brink of a much larger conflict. The American president will hope that his choice in the coming hours will deter any such escalation. It may do the opposite, though. America's enemies have crossed the line. Inaction is not an option, but overreacting could light a tinderbox of Middle East tensions and ignite a regional war. For weeks, Iranian-backed militia have been launching attacks on U.S. assets without inflicting any casualties. That changed when a drone penetrated defenses at a desert base in Jordan and reached a tent full of sleeping American soldiers. Now, 3 lost their lives and 40 were injured in the attacks, blamed on the militia group with close ties to Iran. Now, in the hours since, President Biden, he will have been given a range of options by his military advisors, ranging from a symbolic to a severely punitive response. He could attack the group responsible, but that will be seen by many back home as weak and not striking the heart of the problem, the group's patrons, which is Iran. Also, the Pentagon's list of actions against Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps in the region outside of Iran or attacking Iranian assets within the borders of Iran. Biden will not just be weighing geopolitical factors, but domestic political considerations too. His Republican rivals, and I shared this with you yesterday, they are baying for attacks on Iran itself. He cannot afford to look weak in an election year, but another costly foreign war could hurt his chances of re-election too. He is in a bad position if he does. He is in a bad position if he does not. Ever since tensions were ignited by the Hamas atrocities of October 7th and Israel's responses, there has been fear of widening conflict in the Middle East. The president will try to calibrate his response so it punishes and deters, but does not escalate. But war is not a precise science. If U.S. military action is disproportionately destructive, it will demand a stronger response from Iran. A cycle of escalation will ensue. Confrontations has been ratcheting up in the air, on the land, and at sea. U.S. and British airstrikes have followed attacks by other Iranian proxies, the Houthis in the Red Sea. Attacks on U.S. assets on the ground in Syria, Iraq, and in Jordan have intensified. It is still assumed that no one wants a much bigger war, but events at some point may soon acquire an irreversible momentum, tipping the region into just that. That danger is far from receding. A moment of no return seems to be approaching with each passing day. So that is where we currently are. That is what is going on right now, as we're hearing in the next couple of hours. As soon as the next couple of hours, President Joe Biden could be making the official announcement, and a lot of people saying this could be the official announcement for war. And a lot of people saying World War III. And we already have internal conflicts, and now we also have potentially on the verge of a massive foreign conflict as well. Truth saying God is the only one that can change things. As the saying goes, you reap what you sow. He brought this upon himself, says Dennis Clark. I think he's referring to President Joe Biden maybe not taking enough aggressive response in the beginning. Cali Boy saying Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. Ann Loshin saying Texas, Trump, God. Let's see here. Captain Apana says Biden is asleep. Let me know your thoughts. Do you think that President Biden's responses have been sleeping Joe Biden responses? Is he finally waking up? Let me know your thoughts. It's not real, says Biden could try martial law. Thomas Hill says, am I wrong? Hoping I haven't wasted all my money on my preps. Thomas Hill, you know what? We're not even into February yet, and there's a lot of stuff that's unfolding. I don't think it is unwise to prepare yourselves for any potential scenario unfolding over the next even month. We're hearing in the next couple hours, we could be hearing about something, and there's conflicts taking place with several different nations around the world right now. And the United States seems to be tied into all of them. So, and we've heard that infrastructure systems have been compromised by various nations, and there is a desire for coordinated attacks against the United States. So I would say, I don't think it's money wasted. You know, if you're prepping, buying food or water or whatever you need for yourself and your family, you know, being overly prepared, I don't think is something bad. Grace Richardson, welcome to the Ram Fam. Thank you for the support, hitting that join button, becoming a member. I appreciate that a ton. As a result, you will see the community posts every time I do a video with the sources. I'm going to be doing that for everybody after this video, simply because I cannot cite this source because there are some words that are compromising that the YouTube algorithm might not appreciate. However, thank you for the support. I appreciate it a ton. Not necessary, but definitely appreciated. Thank you so much. And to all those giving super chats as well. Thank you guys so much for the support. And also too, like I said, not necessary, not required, but if you can, I appreciate it. And also if you could though, if you do appreciate the updates, just do me a favor, hit the like button, takes a second. And all that does is help spread this out even further. So that way more people can get the latest breaking news and information. The algorithm sees people like this content and then in turn goes and shares it to more people. Also, if this is your first time here and you want to stay up to date, totally free, hit the subscribe button, turn on the notification bell. I'll keep you up to speed. I try to cite all the sources and I try to be quick about the latest news so that way you know exactly what's going on, what could be impacting you and your family. Donovan saying, we need Jesus. Frank JLG says, great content overall. Thank you so much. Cali Boy saying, great job, Steve. We love you in Miami. Thank you. Eric Smith says, yet we're still worrying about the small stuff. Yeah, sometimes conflicts like this help really put things into perspective for you. I know I really thought about that during the pandemic, just really thinking about, you know, you're locked up inside and you're just thinking about life and thinking about what is the most important things. Steve, thank you, says Tina Terrell. You are so welcome. I've shared as much and many. Thank you for the support. I appreciate it a ton. Angel saying no fear. D Chuck saying this just the beginning. Protect and prepare. Yeah, it just seems like things are escalating. Just continuing to get more and more intense. And like I said, over the next couple hours, we might be hearing some news officially announced by President Joe Biden. I will keep you guys up to date so that way you know exactly what's taking place, what the reaction or the response, the retaliation will be. Jay Gobolo says, Steve, you cut to the chase and cut through all the BS. Thank you for that. I try to do my best just to get you guys the information that is important to you. World War III is about to start, says Dive Plane. I see another shutdown coming, says Tina Terrell. Could be. We'll see. I will keep you guys up to date. My brother is a police officer in Texas, says LD. Thank you, Steve. Here in Alvin, says Hal Ruffner. Oh, Alvin, that is in southern Houston, if I'm not mistaken. If it's the same Alvin that I know here in Houston. Steve, how late are you staying up tonight and watching the news, says Jeff Shannon. Jeff, I will keep an eye on it. I will keep an eye on it. And if there is a declaration of war, you know that I will hop on live. As soon as I find out, I will jump on with you guys and let you know exactly what's going on, because a lot of people saying this could be huge. They're saying this is a pivotal moment in Biden's presidency right now. And the extent of the response could either tip us over or it could de-escalate things. So we will see. It all depends on how they respond. Somebody's saying boom. Anna saying coffee time. A lot of people wanting to stay up and see what's going on. You know what? I will keep an eye on it. If it happens, I will hop on live again. If it happens in the middle of the night and I'm looking at my phone and I see it, I will hop on. So if you have not turned on notifications, do so. When you hit subscribe, there's a little bell. You click the bell, and it's got 3 different levels of notifications. You can click it to all. So that way, if there's a breaking news update in the middle of the night, your phone will notify you that I'm live. I don't know if you want to do that, though, if you want to miss sleep. But if you by chance do, if you want to know what's going on, as soon as I see it, if there is an announcement, declaration of war, U.S. military action taking place, I will try to hop on and get you guys the live info as soon as I can. Elijah says there is only one God. I totally agree with you. Angel Flight says Iran will not back down. It doesn't seem like they've backed down so far. We're going to see if they get a message, though, as soon as tonight. We will see what the response will be, but it is coming. It is coming. So this could be big. Dennis Clark says, God bless the world. Virginia says, thank you, and God bless you and your family. You are very welcome. Thank you for the support and the kind words. Claire says, thank you, Steve. You are welcome. Callie Boy says, we really look forward to your news. Thank you for the support. I appreciate it a ton. All right, you guys, that is the latest. Wanted to get you caught up on it. Again, after I get off of this live stream, I will cite the sources in the community page for you on the channel. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to stay up to date. Join the newsletter at www.steveramnews.com. But with that being said, that is the latest. And I will let you know, as we could be as soon as tonight hearing an update and more information about a massive U.S. military strike coming with an announcement from President Joe Biden in response to what has unfolded in the Middle East. That is the latest, you guys. Thank you so much for joining me. God bless. I'll catch you in the next one. This is Steve.